Hi, and welcome to Effective's Top 10 Tips podcast. Each episode is a quick roundup of practical, easy to implement tips on a wide range of management and personal development themes. As always, full show notes for this episode, including a handy summary of each tip, are available on our website. Just see the episode notes for this and many other useful links. We also offer workshops and coaching on all topics covered in this podcast series. Today's episode is on what's stopping you. Tip number 1. Know what the issue is and that you're stuck. You have to be aware of what the issue is and that you're stuck, that it isn't going anywhere and nor are you, that you're actually making no progress. Tip number 2. Take ownership. Don't wait for something else to happen so that the problem disappears or is resolved. Recognize that the problem is going to be fixed only if you do something about it. Don't wait for circumstances to change or others to help out. Stop waiting, start doing. Tip number 3. Move. Ensure that you move, that you do something to resolve the problem, that there has to be something different happen. There has to be a change, which means you have to move from the current situation to something else. You just have to alter your state from waiting to doing, from thinking to acting. Tip number 4. Ask for help. Don't stay alone with your issue or problem. One reason for not moving is you simply don't know what to do. You know you have a problem, but don't know what the solution is. Many people see asking for help as a sign of weakness. Actually, seeking help, asking if somebody else has any ideas, is a sign of strength. If you think about it, if you ask for help and somebody can't help, well, you're no worse off. But if somebody can help you, you're massively better off. And don't be concerned about imposing on the other person. As an adult, they can say yes or no. Also, think about how you would feel if you were asked if you could help. You might feel flattered that you've been seen and chosen as helpful. So it can be a win-win. The person asking may well get some help, and the person being asked may feel good about it. Tip number 5. Stop your negative self-talk. If somebody suggests an idea, or an idea comes into your head, make sure that your first thought is not a negative one, or if it is, counterbalance it with something more positive. We can get stuck into negative thinking if we have a problem. So avoid in particular the yes but response in your head. If we're not careful, what we'll do is end up justifying our stuck position rather than accepting some possibilities for moving it forward. Tip number 6. Stop tolerating. Stop tolerating or accepting your current situation. Familiarity breeds contempt. If you've had a difficulty that's lasted for some time, there is a danger that you've now become comfortable with your discomfort. You may have just grown to tolerate or accept your situation rather than being agitated to get it sorted and move it forward. You may have decided, this is just me, or that's just how it is. If you've become too accepting of the situation, it will discourage you from seeking a solution. Tip number 7. Avoid self-limiting beliefs. Whatever we believe, we give ourselves permission to achieve. And that means if we believe the problem we have can't be resolved, then all our actions are organised unconsciously to justify that belief. Otherwise, we can't sustain that belief. So if we believe the problem is not resolvable, then it's not resolvable because you won't put any effort into resolving something you believe can't be resolved. Tip number 8. Consider whether it is an embedded habit. Your issue may simply be a routine of doing things in a particular way that's become an unconscious habit. You've allowed a repetitive experience to create your issue rather than choose it. You feel you can't change because you think that's part of you, of who you are, when in fact it's simply a learned habit, something that you've accidentally invested in over the period that has now become stuck. Tip number 9. Be disciplined. This really follows on from the previous tip. Habits are really difficult to change. You have to be aware of them and then be persistent in changing them. And that requires discipline in some ways. And this is sad but true. It may be easier to stay with your problem than invest the time and effort, the discipline, to change it. It's easier to stay with your problem than to fix it, because fixing requires discipline. Tip number 10. Find the right strategy. Working out the strategy that works for you is crucial. It's no good being disciplined and putting a lot of effort in if that particular approach is never going to work. It's really quite difficult sometimes for people to see whether their problem continues if it's because they lack discipline or it's because they're on the wrong strategy. So, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it or leave us a review. Remember, you can find full show notes on our website, plus a growing library of free resources which you can easily search by theme to find content that's relevant for you. We also offer workshops and coaching on a wide range of topics. Links to all of these resources are in the episode notes. Thank you.